Hello lovers, welcome to the portal. Today we're going to look at some ideas for your disco breaks. So a disco break to me is a fun way to say I'm taking a short break from my body. With many of us working at home, I think it's very important to consider changing your body posture and being mindful of how your positions are. And just a really nice general rule of thumb is whatever you've been doing for quite a while, do something that is in opposition to that. So if you've been sitting and these creases have been in their 90-degree angle, standing up. This is why when we get onto like a long airplane trip, isn't this the position that you see everyone doing in the airplane galley, just like trying to open the hips because they've been crunched. So thinking of that, so just a couple of ideas for you. And one thing I'll also mention is I created a standing desk for myself, and so that and it's right behind my desk, so I have the option to move my computer and stand up or sit down, and that's also been a really great idea. So all right, so firstly, if you don't want to stand, you just have a couple of moments to spend before you need to continue onto your tasks, you could think about doing circles. So you could circle your eyes if you're having screen burn. So you could just take your palms of your hands and gently, and you could do your fingers too if it feels better, pads of your fingers. Close your eyes, give them a little hug. And open up, and then you're gonna create a circle by dropping your vision down. Don't move your head, and then just do a circle in the outside edge of your vision. So I'm gonna do that 10 times. And I'm just taking it all the way around. I'm just working my eyes. This actually works your peripheral vision. Woo! And then make sure you give yourself that hug, especially if you were feeling a little burnt. Take some time there, the eye hug. This one is a little darker, and you can just kind of grasp your head. Give your head a little hug. And a nice deep breath. And then we'll open up and do it on the other side. So you just go down and then just go the other direction. Try not to move anything, it's just your eye. It's kind of hard not to move your face. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. You can also just do eye hugs. Okay, so moving right along, you can always choose to circle your neck. And I would say that just try to find a mindful way to address it rather than just like, I'm gonna do some circles. Start with dropping into each side and seeing how that feels. And then if this shoulder is like, I don't want to, just say, okay, let's just take it really slow and see if we can drop that shoulder back down and resist into that and lean into that stretch that we were feeling a little bit resistance to with caution. You know, and you may want to hug your head here as well, and there's no pulling, it's just a little hug. It's a little security blanket, and it's a little bit of weight for the stretch as well. Keeping the shoulder down. I like to try to do about 3 to 5 breaths in each thing that I'm introducing. And then with my next breath, I'll go ahead and shift this whole entire picture and try it on the other side. Gently, so mindfully. This stretch can be really good to just really take your time. Choose the 5 breaths over the 3 because you gain a little bit of flexibility just within that small frame of time. And then coming back just so gently, and like I said, you can also just opt for circles. And I like to consider first my nose doing a circle here in the front, because if you notice, that's actually moving your vertebrae in a nice way. So doing little circles with your nose. And then it might turn into a figure 8 or a circle. Remember, it's a disco break, so you can dance it out a little bit. All right, now another thing you can do if you don't want to get up is just scoot back away from your desk and do a sun salutation from the seat. So in order to do that, you would just come up, inhale, and down to your toes with your exhale. And look in front of you with your inhale, just raise your head, and then exhale back down. And then I inhale my right arm up, a little twist, and down, exhale, inhale the left arm up, and exhale it down, and inhale up the center, and down the center, back to your heart. And that's kind of a little bit more energy inducing, getting some energy flowing. Sun salutation in the chair. Let's do it one more time. I'll turn to the side. Here we go. Inhale up. Exhale down to your toes. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale down. Inhale the right arm up. Full breath. When you're ready to exhale, exhale it down. Bring it through the back if you like. Take that long way home. Inhale the left arm up. Full breath. And down. And up the center, strong in the belly and the legs. And exhale. Great. Now I can also take my shoulders here, create a little space in the neck by lifting them up. Inhale, lift them really high, push them towards your ears. Compression creates space, so push, 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 and then drop it like a hot potato on your exhale. So I like doing that 3 times. This is my lucky number for that one. Just you can also choose to circle your shoulders. Again, it's a disco break. So have fun with it. You hear me talking? I'm picking up what I'm putting down. Okay. Now, if you need to access the deep rotator cuff, you're really having some struggle there, it's feeling a little bit blocked, you can, let's first go into a big arm circle, which is just a really beautiful general movement for the shoulder. And then if you want to go a little deeper, place the hands on the shoulders with the thumb in the back and just circle your elbows. It'll just take you a little bit deeper. You're just circling that half of your arm. You can feel that and try to keep your face relaxed. Remember, you're in mountain pose in your chair. So when you're doing anything, let's stop and talk about that. When you're doing anything in the upper body, you want to keep the legs in a nice, strong place of stability and support. So mountain pose in the chair means that my legs are engaged, that my legs are aligned, hips to knees in a straight line, and knees to ankles in a straight line, and toes and feet coming out in a straight line. So it's like doop, 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 doop. And then beyond that, it's like you're just trying to gently rip apart napkin on the floor with your feet, so you've got this activation happening, and that keeps you stable so you don't let go, whoa, and fall overboard. All right, now a little disco moment for your hands. That's, you know, that could be it. Or you could go all the way up and that accesses some more stuff in the body, doesn't it? You can turn your head here. And you can take this stretch to the side. I would recommend pulling the belly in for just a tiny bit more stability here so you don't whoosh, fall overboard. And inhale back to the center and exhale to the side with that belly strength. That one can be good to take a few rounds as well. It really loosens up the shoulder and upper back trapezius connections. I like listening to lo-fi when I'm doing this work. It's got a little bit of a beat, so it kind of keeps me grooving, but it's not too aggressive. Okay. Now let's look at one more idea for your neck. Of course, in the seat, that's very easy, is doing the lion's breath. It's actually a beautiful stretch for the neck, especially if you really think about pushing your tongue out as far as you can, as far as it is humanly possible, past any point of comfort. So when you exhale, just push, push, push your tongue out, and then look at it, or look at your nose. And keep reaching with your tongue as you exhale. Try it again. You can feel it stretching right at the very top of your spine. Feels really nice. One more. Woo! All right, and I always like to finish off something like that with a horse breath, just to kind of disco breaks ain't disco breaks if you're not being a little silly. So I guess this is actually turned into a seated video. So we're gonna do just a couple more things, and then you'll have to stay tuned for the standing video coming soon. So fingers up. I really love doing this for the forearm. Exhale the fingers down, and not only down, but bring them in and try to touch your arm on the underneath. So you really stretch the forearm. And down. Up. And down. Ooh, that was nice. And you can always hold those top fingers and push the heel of your hand out a little bit if you wanted to. It's a little easier doing it by holding the fingers down. And if that didn't feel like enough in your forearm, you can take your claw and grab hold of the meat. So there's two bones in your arm, the radius and the ulna. And when you rotate your hand and put your fingers here and rotate your hand, you can feel them. You can feel them going boop, 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 boop. So by doing that, you can find the meat in between the bones. So I like to come right up here to the shoulder, or to the elbow. No, I'm not gonna say that. I like to come right up here to the elbow and place my thumb where it feels like meat, and then rotate and make sure I'm on it in a good spot. And then I just work my way down that little strip of muscle with just making little dots, little pressure points. You can also massage down it if you'd rather do it that way, or you could use your fingers on top, your thumb on bottom. That's a nice thing to do. if you've been doing a lot of typing. And I like telling this story when I got thrown into cooking a steak one time for my dad. He had an emergency, he had to leave the restaurant. And I was like, I don't know how to cook a steak. And he said, okay, just, this is rare, medium, and so on and so forth. And then like he was showing it to me on my arm muscle. So that's, I think of that story when I massage my arm muscles. All right, and let's go into the legs for a moment. You know, you've probably done this on the ground, the thread the needle stretch type thing. But this is a great stretch that you can take in your chair. Scoot yourself back and lift the leg on to the other leg with the ankle on the outside of the thigh. Stretch for the piriformis muscle. I like doing this one in 3 parts. Part 1 is sitting up straight. Usually can feel a little something just doing that. Part 2, a little bit of compression in the diagonal line from the top knee to the bottom hip. So just a little bit of, you can kind of just rotate this thigh muscle right above the knee on the top leg out and rotate the upper thigh muscle out near the hip. Gently, if it feels good. And you can rotate this ankle on top while it's here in space, floating. And that can be quite nice. And if you want to stretch the top of your foot, just take it and gently pull your toes towards your body. Or you can take this foot, once you're finished, let's do the third part first. So the third thing I like to invite here is to bend over and drop into it. With your exhale, belly comes in and you just drop in. So you could just look and say hi to your foot, or you could just drop into the whole thing and be restorative about it and just let yourself hang out. When you come back up, make sure that you walk yourself up and roll your spine up so it's not like a hinge, but a roll up. And then if you want to stretch the top of your foot here, you can also bring your foot up into your hip crease. You're gonna have to pull your ankle over towards your crotch, right on the inner thigh, and then just drop the top of your foot there. And that's a way that you can stretch your foot. You can lift your heel on that bottom leg and just give a little bit more ideas. And then when you put the leg down, make sure you take it with care. You can give it a hug if you're able to. You can also lift it up here towards the solar plexus heart area, just for a little bit more stretch if it feels good. If not, no worries. Just pick it up, blow it a kiss, and put it down with care. And then take yourself to the other side for the same series. Number 1, up tall. You can start rotating here if you like. Number 2, that compression in that diagonal line, top of the knee, bottom of top leg, knee, bottom leg, hip. Just wiggle your way around in that. You might drop your chin. You might find some wiggles in your spine or your rib cage. Could happen. Everybody is so different. And number 3, dropping the torso forward with your exhale, belly in to spine. Arms come out and down in the front. Only if you want to. You can be up here too, like a unicorn. Whatever feels right for your body. And each side is different, so make sure you ask on each side, what does this side want? It's going to be different, probably most of the time. I hardly ever get the same results on each side because we are such creatures of habitual postures and, you know, cultural things like driving. All right. Oh, I forgot to give it a hug. I like giving my leg a little kiss before I go down. And then actually also the half lotus foot stretch. Just skipped all of that. So if you want to do that, it's also preparing you for lotus pose. if it's something you desire. This might not feel right for your knee, so it might not be right for you. You can get top of foot stretch here, and you can also scoot to the edge of your chair and get it here. All right, so I think I have a couple more things for your legs. And one thing I want to show you is a little sciatic floss. So from sitting here, I'm just going to lift my legs up. I'm just showing you from the side, and lift the toes. So think about your sciatic nerve dropping the legs. It starts down at the heel and it comes all the way up. So if I was holding that thing and going boop, 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 like that, it would look something like chin up, foot up, toes up, foot down, chin down, toes down, up. I'm not looking all the way up, not necessary. I'm looking at like the wall and the ceiling where they meet, and then dropping down, and I'm just looking at my foot. So it's a mild little thing that you can do here just to floss your sciatic nerve, and it also is obviously strengthening in the leg. So just, you know, you can do, I'm going to go to the other side and just do 5 times on each side. If that was 5 times, I think it was. Just up and down with so much care and mindfulness. And down. Very nice. So that's a little sciatic situation if you like. I mean, you could get jiggy with it and do both at once. There's nothing wrong with that. It adds a little bit more workout flavor to it. Okay, and the last thing I'll show you here is windshield wiper. And this is something that we do a lot on the ground, on the mat. But these are all ideas for, you don't have to get up, right? You have to stay seated, but you need something. So windshield wiper, just pull yourself to the edge of your chair. I like to hold on. Just make sure, since you're at the edge of your chair, you can also be holding on to a desk here, and you're just putting on the wipers, just going over side to side. So I try to, that's why I like to hold on, because I like to press the lower leg knee down. So I'm kind of getting that hip flexor stretch there in the front, and just taking that really slowly. And you know, you could also compress your legs up again, just if you wanted to. Take a moment and do a hug. Just if you need to poop, you could do this as a laxative. Okay, so that is the actual last idea I have for you today for disco breaks. Unless you wanted to take a nap, that would be my final suggestion, a disco nap. And you could even do that just right on your desk. Set yourself a timer for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or get on the floor below your chair, open your legs and drop your head here, or put your legs under the chair and drop. Disco breaks and disco naps are necessary for all of us working at home. And even those of us working in other places, we still need to be having our breaks. So I hope that you take yours. Join me next time for standing disco breaks. Have a beautiful day out there.